This week on Here for the Right Reasons, Clare makes connections and falls deeper for Dale.
I feel like what's happening with Dale and I is just magical. And these are my dreams coming true.
As red flags and dodgeballs fly.
You said you want a man with some balls? Let's go.
Plus, Bachelor Nation's Kendall Long reveals her relationship status with grocery store Joe and reveals she could have been the Bachelorette.
I was definitely talking with people, and it was something that could have happened.
And Shawn Booth reveals he has watched back his season of The Bachelorette. So, what did he think?
It was kind of, it was fun for me to watch because I was able to, sit back, and it was like I was watching a completely different person, but I was also like proud of myself for being open and put myself out there.
We've got that plus so much more on today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Usweekly's senior writer, Sarah HEARON, and welcome to Here for the Right Reasons. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Christina. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm great. We've hit week 2. We have connections. We have villains. We have red flags. I mean, if I could describe week 2 of The Bachelorette in any words, it would be red flags and cringe.
Yes, totally. We have so many cringe moments that we're going to get to in just a minute, but let's break down our bracket of roses. Let's talk about some of those connections that Clare is making, because obviously everybody is still talking about she and Dale, but she did have some great one-on-one conversations and dates with some other guys as well.
Totally. We're seeing connections with Blac, with Riley, with Jason, but Dale. I mean, at the end of every sentence, it was, I feel this, but I'm thinking about Dale.
Right. She's like, just in case you forgot, I'm still in love with Dale.
Right. And there is part of me that's wondering if maybe some of this stuff is being added in now because they really want us to make sure we're rooting for Clare and Dale, because if what we know is true, then they're going to, run off in the sunset together at some point. So maybe they're trying to ensure that Bachelor Nation is on board and doesn't feel like it came out of nowhere.
I totally agree with you. It does feel like some of these were like, let's go back and make sure that she's saying all this because, like you said, you want everybody to root for them. Are you rooting for them?
Yeah. I mean, I have no reason not to. I think I'm rooting for Clare. I think she made it kind of hard this week, which we'll get into with some of her reactions.
Yes.
But overall, I mean, I don't think you can deny the chemistry between them. Like, she seems a little more into him, but I think it's almost because he doesn't know if he's allowed to.
Right. No, that's so true. It definitely, because he's probably like, I didn't know that a lead could basically say that they're that into me so soon. It just seems like maybe he doesn't know how to react, I think.
Yeah, he's pulling back, but when they do kiss and when they do interact, they're like giddy schoolgirls. Like
they are.
It's definitely something. I don't know if it's love or lust or what, but it's something.
It is something. And she definitely had an interesting date with Jason. It was a full-on therapy session. Wasn't ready for something that heavy, and I don't think he was either.
No, he wasn't. It was like part therapy, part like wellness retreat. Like, it would have been one thing if they wrote the letters to themselves, and another thing if they did the burning and the describing themselves in, negative terms. But doing all of it was a lot for a first date. And I know it's, we're trying to get to know each other, but it was also very negative. Like, they talked about a lot of bad things that have happened. Like, if someone told me that they've been described as manipulative, mean, and cold, I'd be like, okay, bye. Like, thank you for your vulnerability, but I'm out.
I know. I gotta go. Yeah, it was a little much for a first date, especially because they probably only said, hi, how are you? And that was probably it. So,
I mean, and I will say, as much as I'm like, all right, Jason, like, I'm over it. Like, get away from me. I'm also like, he did play along and open up and talk about his parents and all this stuff. We didn't have to do that. So at the same time,
it's like you almost feel bad for him in a way because you know how this turns out. Like, we finally know the ending of The Bachelor, and like he just kind of laid it all out there, and she ends up with somebody else.
No, the whole time I kept thinking that, and when they were getting worked up, I was like, don't worry about it. But at the same time, like, it's just you get in your head about the show, so you have to play along, I guess.
You do. But there was definitely a lot of other things going on, right?
Yes, there was definitely a lot of other things going on. We have a lot of the guys super into Clare, and other guys not so much, which brings us to Yosef, who you called early as a villain, and you were right, Christina.
I feel very proud of myself about this one. Yes, I mean, he kind of emerged a little bit as a villain last week, but this week he we get it. You have a daughter and you want to have a good example for your daughter. I understand, but play along with the game.
I think he's just trying to ensure his screen time because he's complaining about things that don't really have anything to do with him. He wasn't even on the dodgeball date, which we'll get to.
It's like you weren't forced to strip.
Right. You weren't even on the date. And he called her crazy at one point, I think, or implied that, which is never a good idea to call a woman crazy, especially on television.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As soon as he said that, I was like, oh no, don't do it.
Just added to the list of cringe. And I saw on Twitter that there's like pictures of him in his boxers on Instagram from a few years ago. So clearly he's not afraid to show a little skin, Yosef.
Yeah, like you said, just in it for the screen time. Was there anybody else that you were kind of feeling for Clare last night?
I really liked Riley, who got the group date rose. I thought he was really cute and seemed genuine. There seemed to be something there. And I still like Easy. I think he's fun for the show. He stands out, but it's just so hard because everything keeps going back to Dale.
I know, it really does. It's like, it's so hard to, well, at this point, it's so hard to even remember anybody's name, but, but yes, everything just goes back to Dale. I just feel like it's almost hard to watch because these guys don't have a fighting chance.
Totally.
All right. Well, let's move on to our cringe of the week. Because like we said, basically the entire episode was just a cringe moment. But let's kick it off with Clare, because obviously she knows exactly what she wants, but it just seems like the guys just want to hang out with each other. I mean, at least she took matters into her own hands and was like, I guess these guys don't want to hang out with me.
Yeah, listen, I feel like, I don't know if I can articulate this right, but my thought on all of this is that Clare knows she's the Bachelorette and she loves being the Bachelorette. And she wants to be
the Bachelorette.
treated like the Bachelorette. And the Bachelorette is supposed to have guys fighting for her. Can I steal you for a sec? You know, dying to talk to her, to compliment her. And that wasn't happening. And I think she was in her head about it. And she was like, wait, this isn't how the show goes. Like, don't they know? And she couldn't even handle an awkward silence. And it was just cringy all around.
It really was. Like, were you surprised that, well, I mean, knowing Clare, not really surprised that she went back and said something, but it was I feel like it was a bit much.
Yeah, I don't know if other Bachelorettes would have done that, especially on week 2, because you're not so much in your head about it. You're like just so excited and nervous, and they might be nervous and not understand the show, but she's wasting no time, which she made clear. Sure. Mm-hmm. I think she maybe could have gone about it a little more tactfully, like, hey guys, this is usually the part of the show when, you know, we get to know each other. Does anyone want to go first, or maybe take the lead? A lot of times they'll say, can I talk to you first? Right. To show them, versus just being like, hello, I'm the star. Like, why are you asking to talk to me? Which is kind of how it came off to me.
Yeah, it did. I mean, you have to give them a pass. It was the first like group date, you know, cocktail hour type of thing. So they didn't really know what to do and how to handle the situation. And, you know, sometimes if you jump the gun too quickly, some of the guys get mad, or so who knows? I mean, a million things are probably going through their heads, but it was definitely an awkward moment.
It was, but not quite as awkward as Brandon, who during his one-on-one time with Clare admitted that he knows absolutely nothing about her.
I love this moment.
I can like feel it in my, like, I get like icky feelings. Like I want to run away for both of them.
I do too. I mean, Google her before you go on the show. Just look up one thing about her.
Have your go-to facts, right? And even if you don't say you do. He literally set himself up. He said, when I found out it was you, I knew I had to be there. And all Clare did was say, why? And he had no answer. He set himself up.
Zero answer. Zero. All you could say was that she's beautiful. But what is so great about it too is that he's like, I still feel like we had a really good connection. She's like, what? No, we didn't.
This was a classic case of, again, she wants to be the Bachelorette, so she definitely, you know, was asking all the right questions and she's playing the role. And he has never seen an episode of The Bachelor and didn't understand, or he saw one clip and was trying to recreate that and like saying key phrases, but didn't understand the follow through. Because he's cute. Yeah. And I said that before. But you gotta have at least one fact. It's like the first day of school when they're gonna ask you something about yourself. Just have something ready in case.
In case. Well, I feel like we will see him in paradise. I mean, after that moment, he'll be back.
We better. Do you think she was too harsh for sending him home right on the spot? I usually love when they send them home in the middle of dates, but I was like, I don't know if I guess they can't really recover from that.
No, you can't really recover. There really is no going back. I mean, like we've said before, she knows exactly what she wants. She's not here to mess around. And she's like, if I don't feel it, I'm going to send you home. But I feel like she could have sent half the guys home already then if she was doing that.
That's totally true. Well, of course, because we said this episode was all cringe, it wasn't just Brandon making us uncomfortable. We also have Blac, who took breaking the rules to a whole nother level. What did you think of him? You know, he was on the dodgeball team that lost, and then he showed back up and crashed second half of the group date. What were your thoughts when he decided to do that?
Well, first of all, this was not Blac's decision. This was all the producers making him go to talk to Clare. I mean, let's be real about that. Like, this was not up to him. But but still, it was a bold move. I didn't like it because it's not, I mean, that's not what you do. It's not, it's taking time away from the other guys, and they won, and they deserve that time. And I think Clare was a little thrown off by it at first, obviously, because we see that he goes in for the kiss and he gets denied.
Give me a hug. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Blac.
Thank you. Come on, you can't go in for it right now.
Okay.
Come on.
But I thought after that she was going to send him home. I was shocked that she gave him a rose that soon.
Claire's kind of sending mixed signals because partly she's, the first episode, he was the one who had DM'd her and she was like, thank you for breaking the rules for me. That means a lot. Like, I need someone to fight for me. Then she rewarded him with a kiss. Then he showed up and crashed this date and she was like, you're breaking the rules. I don't like that. But then she went back and was like, by the way, I did like that. I just had to say that. Like, if I was him, I'd be so confused.
I would be so confused. I'd be like, what is going on? I like, get me out of here. Because it's just, like you said, it's sending mixed signals. Do I break the rules? Do I not break the rules? Does she like this? Does she doesn't? Because it seemed like during the date, she was kind of totally turned off by it.
I think maybe she was just nervous because she knew the other guys were going to be watching, and there was already she had kind of had a weird week with the men, and she's still trying to navigate. I mean, in the first date, she literally had to make out, or not make out, but get very up close and personal with all the guys in front of each other. Mm-hmm. So maybe she was feeling sensitive towards their feelings, but I can totally hear the producers being like, Blac, you're the guy who broke the rules on episode 1. So now you have to be the guy to break the rules again. Keep proving to her that you will do anything for her. And then him getting all hyped up, like, yeah, I'm going to crash that date. And then just getting denied. So maybe then she felt guilty. Like, it was just all over the place. Her relationship with Blac and this episode.
Yes. I feel like the relationship with Blac is going to end very messy. I think something is going to happen because he's just, like you said, he's going to get way too much into his head, way too involved in this and invested, and it's just going to blow up in his face.
He's going to take it the hardest maybe when this Dale thing blows up. That or Jason, because he's pissed that he blew up his parents' marriage on TV for no reason.
Oh my God, that was so awkward too. I was like, oh no, I hope his parents aren't watching.
Oh my God, just all over the place uncomfortableness during this week's episode.
So Sarah, this is pretty interesting. You recently spoke to Kendall from The Bachelor, and it turns out that this season of The Bachelorette maybe could have looked a little different.
Yes, that's true. She talked to me about how she was in talks with producers to potentially be the Bachelorette, and of course gave us an update on her relationship with grocery store Joe. I'm still mourning those two. Here's Kendall.
Was there any truth to reports or rumors that you were potentially going to be in meeting with producers about being the Bachelorette before Clare was decided? Was that totally a lie, or was that a thing?
I was definitely talking with people, and it was something that could have happened. But I think for me, it was not my time, and I definitely had just a relationship, and I'm so excited. I'm just really excited for Clare's season because I feel like her season's going to be there's going to be some mature men. Some older, I don't know if older men means more mature. We'll see, but
we'll learn.
I have my hopes for it.
So, obviously we see sometimes on Instagram, you and Joe still interacting a little bit. Where do you guys stand today? Are you just friends? Is there any hope for reconciliation there? What's the status?
Oh, I love Joe. I mean, he's just a great person, and we really went through a lot together, and we have so much, we see strength in each other. So if I'm having a hard day, I can talk to him, and I hope he feels the same way. I'm not really sure what's going to happen down the line right now. I don't think we're in a romantic world, but he's always going to be someone that I go to, and hopefully he can go to me. I kind of see us as Elaine and Seinfeld. So our dynamic. We have like a really playful relationship. Yeah, it's not romantic right now. So.
Was it hard to become friends or stay friends after breaking up, or did it just kind of work? It was hard.
I think initially I was like, this is going to be easy. It's going to be fine. We're going to be great friends. But you know, it's definitely difficult when you want to move on and you want to start to date, and you know, it's not fair to keep holding on to somebody that you used to love and still have in like a big place in your heart for. And I think we're kind of learning how to be friends. I wouldn't say we're completely 100% there yet, but yeah, it's been a good process. I mean, he's a great person, so you know, it hasn't been that hard, but it's hard to explain. But
I really hope that they get back together.
I really hope so too. It sounds like a distance thing. I mean, he's in Chicago, she wants to be in LA, probably something they should have figured out. I think maybe she thought they did figure out and then he went back on it. But yeah. I really loved those two. I was rooting for them.
I know, me too. It definitely would have been interesting if she was the Bachelorette. I don't know. I don't see it.
It's always hard with this talk. You never know, but they can shape whoever. And obviously Clare was the decision.
Yeah. And it's a good one so far. It's definitely entertaining TV.
Totally.
All right, well, moving on to our Where Are They Now segment. So after last week's show, it got us thinking about where are some of our first impression rose winners. So Sarah, who are you going to kick it off with?
That's right. So obviously we know some bachelorettes go on to get engaged or marry or at least stay together long term with their first impression rose winners, including Rachel Lindsay and JoJo, but some are just memories to us. So let's start with Ali Fedotowsky and Roberto. That's a throwback, right?
That is a throwback. Yes, Ali, of course, picked Roberto on the finale. They got engaged. They broke up a few months later. So where is Roberto now? Well, in January, he announced that he was engaged to his girlfriend, Christiana Elliott, and he wrote, "When you know, found my forever sweetheart." But all the posts have been taken down of his fiance. So we're not sure if they are still together. I mean, all signs kind of point to no, but they haven't said if they are together or not.
Yeah, that's a little messy. Everyone was really happy for him, including Allie, who I've spoken to twice this year just about Bachelorette stuff. And she was like, I'm so happy for Roberto. And then I had to be the one to tell her, well, the posts are gone. And she's like, oh, well, I know nothing about that, but like, I'm happy for him. So maybe he just didn't want it to be public because it got attention, or maybe things went south, but we're rooting for Roberto.
We are rooting for Roberto. Hope everything's going well. Somebody that has found themselves in a bit of hot water is Hannah Brown's first impression rose winner, right?
Yes, someone who no one was really rooting for, and I don't know if they're rooting for him now either, but Luke Parker, who of course, infamously confessed his love for Hannah on day 2. He might have worked on Clare's season because she's liking the declarations early.
Totally.
And then ended up being the villain for the fantasy suite stuff. He is in trouble with producers. He is being sued, and the judge is ordering him to pay them $100,000 for violating his contract.
Thanks. That is not good.
No, not good at all. And I think he apparently did some press appearances he wasn't supposed to do. They're supposed to, everything goes through ABC for the year after the show. But I feel like other Bachelor contestants have done this, so I think they're just making an example out of him because no one liked him anyway.
Yeah, that is very true. Hopefully he has some Diff Eyewear sponsors so he can pay off that. Fingers crossed. And finally, we know that Kaitlyn Bristowe has been living her best life on Dancing with the Stars, but what is her ex-fiance Shawn Booth up to? Well, we recently caught up with him to find out. Take a look.
It was fun for me to watch because I was able to, sit back, and it was like I was watching a completely different person, but I was also like proud of myself for being open and put myself out there. And so I had fun watching that. So I think I would just say to him to just be open and to let it come natural.
Yeah. Was it fun for you watching back your season, or is it weird at all? I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, obviously I had, I was nervous about it all week, and then I wasn't going to watch it. And then I sat on the couch and I flipped through the channel, and I kid you not, the first thing I see was me running down a golf course naked with a black box. And so I just started laughing. I was like, all right, I'll stick around for a little bit. And then as I watched it, it was fine, surprisingly. It was, like I said, it was kind of comforting and kind of like, close a chapter in my life. Like I was able to to sit back and watch it and be proud of myself. And I was like, wow, I really like, you know, put my heart on the line out there. I gave everything I had. And it was fun watching other relationships too, because obviously when I was engaged, I wasn't watching the show because that was my fiance. And so we didn't watch the show together. But it made me laugh because I was able to see my buddy like Ben Higgins, like doing like a dip and a kiss. I was like, oh, damn, Ben, like that was smooth. And like Jared, like seeing his connection with Kaitlyn, I was like, wow, they had like a really good connection. So I was able to sit back as like a fan and watch it all. And I was able to get a better understanding of everything. So it was kind of a nice kind of ending to that chapter.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for running down all things Bachelor with me.
You know what, Christina, I'm just counting down the days till we see the big blow up. And I don't know how many episodes we have left, but either way, I will be here. We will be able to talk cringe. We'll be able to talk Dale and whatever else the show throws at us. It's
going to be a lot. It's going to be an interesting season. And like you said, we're going to be breaking it all down each and every week. So check back with Usweekly's YouTube channel every Wednesday for Here for the Right Reasons. We'll see you guys next week.